Hello, welcome to today's HR Huddle, January 24th. We are glad to be here. Jen and I are looking forward to having kind of an exploratory conversation with you. We thought today we would talk about something maybe a little bit more personal in nature, but that will help you professionally and personally. It's something that we've been doing in our business for a while. And at the beginning of the year, we identify 3 words that we use as kind of guideposts or, they're not really resolutions because they're just words that, we want to focus on and either have more of or learn more about or explore. It could be for different reasons. Some people say to focus on one word, that 3 is too many. We kind of like 3 and they're usually complementary. So we also have a hard time narrowing. So maybe that's why we do 3. For those of you that might hang around us and know us, that might be a little bit of it, but it helps us both, professionally and personally to identify, like I said, areas to focus, or when we're trying to make decisions or do more of or less of something, we pull into those words and say, are we achieving these? Jen, what else do you want to say on setup? And then we can get into, some examples.
Well, I think that it's just a practice that I've been doing for a long, long time now. And I use the words, I usually pick the words. Sometimes the words pick me. Sometimes they come to me right away in January. Sometimes they take longer. I don't have them right away. But I use them to sort of drive change, but also drive intention and focus. They aren't always things I'm trying to radically change. Sometimes resolutions are big, lose weight or drink more water or whatever. And sometimes it is that sort of a change that I'm seeking when the words come to me. But sometimes it's just to try to emphasize some things in this life that is so hairy and crazy, and so many goals and work to do, list items, and meetings on your calendar and all those things. When you're trying to say, well, who am I going to be and where am I going to focus? My 3 words help me center, I guess, and in all areas. So it's not just work. Right. Yeah, it's in all areas of my life, and my health, my friendships, my home life, whatever it may be. So anyway, that's. And my words this year, I have a hyphenated word, but they're not sentences. They mean something to me when I first pick them, but when we end the year and I reflect back, they evolve and change and expand in ways I didn't expect. Which is
cool. Do you want to share them?
Sure. So I am. One of my words is a revisit of a word I've had in the past, and I decided that I really wanted to choose this word because I had such a great experience with it when it was one of my 3 words, and I'm hoping and hoping and hoping that that I'll have a similar experience, and it's the word joy. So what I did when joy was one of my 3 words is I stopped and examined every day what gave me joy, or in the day, in the moment, I was having joy. Like I would experience it and think, gosh, this is awesome. And I would think, oh my goodness, this is joy. I'm having it right now. And so I started being more mindful of joy, but also writing it down. I journaled my joy, and then I shared my joy journey. And I wrote a blog every other month or once a quarter and said, here's all the stuff that I'm experiencing that is giving me joy. And I have that list for posterity. It's published on our blog, and it's fun to sort of look at the things that were giving me joy then. And so anyway, joy is one of my words, and it was all kinds of things, like live music,
Coffee,
coffee, always coffee, 100% coffee, and I don't know, like. I know I'm going to have joy in March if, God willing, we're all well enough and the world allows me to get to New York City and stand on the street in one of my favorite places on the planet. I'm supposed to be there in March, and twice, in fact. And so that city almost always gives me joy. So, standing in a concert, though, and listening to live music gives me joy. I mean, there's a whole list of stuff. I hope to, be paddling in a kayak. That always gives me joy. So That's one of my words. I'm going to share my first word, Tamara, and then you share one.
Okay. Well, so I did a little bit different strategy that I've been doing it for a couple of years. So I have three, two of them I picked, but one, this idea of picking, it picks you.
Yes.
Playing with this word finder at church, and it generates your word. And sometimes people get their word and they're like, I don't really like that word. My pastor had sparkle. I know she listens to us. So she was like at first, no, but then she found all these places that she could sparkle, and she does sparkle, and all the places that sparkle in the world. It was really fun. So my word that was generated for me this year is voyage. And I thought that was, I know, super interesting. I was like, ooh, that's a big word. And, you can look at it. We're on this voyage in our work and in our profession. And we're on this voyage through this pandemic and trying to navigate it and all the rough waters. I think of a voyage and I think about in the ocean and the rough waters and, crossing something. And it's kind of exciting and to, figure out, what does that look like? I'm on a new voyage as a new grandma. What does that look like? And that's fun. There's lots of fun with it, but also, just navigating it with my daughter and my son-in-law and, my husband. And so, my son's on a new voyage in high school this year and new diving team he took on. And so anyway, it's showing up in lots of different places. I was very intrigued by it. At first I was like, I'm not sure about this, but it's been kind of fun to play with.
I love it. Well, and you love a cruise.
I love it.
And you have a trip to Hawaii planned that's not a cruise. And, I don't know what else, but you have some voyages that you've been dreaming about.
We do have a cruise planned in Alaska, take 3. So we're hoping that still happens. That's not till August. We hope.
Come on.
I know.
Well, so my second word is off-road. It's my hyphenated word I mentioned. And, I wanted I wanted a better word than that. I thought a lot about it. I didn't pull a thesaurus out or anything, but the more I kept thinking about my words, the more that word was the word, so I just said, all right, I'll just accept it. And at first I thought it was like, because one of my goals in running, I'm a street runner, big time street runner and cement trail runner. And I do some trail running, but pretty minutely right now. I do hike trails like crazy. And so one of my goals for 2022 in running is to do more trail running and to shift some of my hiking to be a little bit faster, more like running out there. And so that's where it started, my idea of off-road. I'm going to get off the road running and do more nature running or something. But the more I've been thinking about the word and what it means and how I'm going to live into it is, being willing to go off-road with clients or off-road in our business or off-road with my husband and do things that aren't the norm or aren't expected or aren't the usual, maybe. And so to be open to that and to be looking for those opportunities to go rogue or whatever you want to call it, to step off the street of whatever the normal pavement is and try some other things. For instance,
I don't think you need permission for that.
No, but off-road and exercise too. Like
yes.
I have been a yoga, practicer for 23 years and a runner for 17 or 18. And, I just started bar and love it. I started it in November and I've just been really thinking about alternative forms of exercise. I've been a modified CrossFit person, but I just haven't tried some of these other things that are out there. And I'm going to go off-road with exercise a little bit and try some of those as well. So there's going to be different ways it manifests, I think.
I love how we were describing this, and I really heard it when you were just saying, the off-roading in our business or with Brian or, in other places, how much it includes other people. And that's what's so fun about these words is like, you think about it from one perspective, like trail running. And then you start to think, gosh, where else could we be going off-road? And it just includes and touches so many people. I love that. So my second word is beauty. And it came to me, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago. I was just tired of the news. I'm tired of all the bad news and how hard everybody's like how hard it is and how exhausted and all of that's valid, but it was so negative and like how ugly, everything is. And I think I must have been driving when it came to me because I was, watching the sunset and I just got so present to how much beauty and good is in our world. And maybe it's a little bit like your joy. It's like, how do we find more beauty in what we're doing and the beauty in human beings and the beauty in this creation and beauty in this life that we have and beauty in our work and our relationships. And it just really moved me when I started thinking about that. And, so I was like, I think that's one of my words. I think beauty is one of my words, and finding the beauty in what we're doing in people, in this life, and yes, there's hard times. Yes, there's sickness. Yes, there's grief. But there's beauty in all of that also. And if we could find the beauty in those things, gosh, that just makes it so special.
Yeah, Tamara, I was just thinking about how easy it is to think about or to identify ugly.
Yes.
How easy it is to have it, to tune into it, to have it be magnified for us, how the media certainly spends a lot of time peddling ugly. And, just how joy and beauty and those things they're right around us all the time, but we're not tuned in, we're not present, we're doing something else and we miss it. So I love that. And I hope you'll keep note of it. Take pictures of it.
Yes.
That's the thing. Something like that. That would be awesome. So
a beauty board. I was thinking like a beauty board.
Yeah, I love it. I love the idea. And talk to Sarah or Emily about where we could post that beauty board so that we could all look at it.
Yes.
That'd
add to it.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Super fun. So somewhere on Teams or something. So, okay. So my third word is learn. And, a few people, when I told them learn, I haven't written my blog about my three words yet, but I've been saying them now since they came to me. And a few people were like, learn, that's not very much of a stretch for you. You're always
learning,
like how boring, or whatever. And I am a learner in the Gallup Strengths Finder. It's one of my core God-given gifts or whatever, is that I'm curious and I want to learn. And if there's an idea that comes by me that especially related to my work, I try to dig in and learn it a little bit. And so, I hesitated here, but I just, I'm learning new forms of exercise. For me to do more trail running, I'm going to have to stop and read about it and learn. I've been a hack up to this point, just out there running trails like I know what I'm doing when I don't. So I'm, because I wasn't doing it much. So I was like, I hadn't invested in the learning. So I'm going to invest in learning those kinds of things. Most of my learning is going to not be work related. And if it is work related, it's going to be an off-road idea. I'm serious, related to work. Cause I'm digging in and learning like human capital trends and, technologies and HR and, whatever it is. I'm learning the stuff related to work. But, and I was really inspired the other day when we were talking about things that we, had done or learned recently in a happy hour. It was one of the prompts was, what's something new you've learned to do? And Sarah Sims on our team said, I learned to make gravy. And I was like, oh man, I can make some sauces, but I never perfected gravy. I don't eat gravy. So I just never figured it out. I didn't stop and learn it. And I'm sure it's not very hard. I'm sure it's like many other sauces that will be pretty simple. And I'll be like, wow, I could have made gravy this whole time for the people in my life that love it, including my daughter, Grace, and my mother, Della. They love biscuits and gravy, and they just love gravy. And so I'm going to learn to make gravy too. I told Sarah Sims I want her to tell me what she learned about learning gravy, but it's things like that. I'm going to find some strange things that other people might already know or take for granted or that people wonder, why would you learn it now? I'm going to learn it. So that's,
Love it.
I'm going to keep track of that too.
We're
And
good. You need
yeah.
to post that on Teams too. All
And
the
what
things
did I
we learned.
learn learning it, right? I mean, what were the distinctions, the insights, the ahas that you get as you learn something? So I don't know what all those things are going to be, but they're going to be some things, and I can't wait.
Well, and it is all those ahas and insights is beyond like the recipe. It's
Oh,
where do you start or what kind or, so there's these tips or these, like you said, ahas that you have. I would love to learn how to be more creative with spices and like just know what spices go together and be able to pull. I'm like, if I have a recipe, I'm fine. And I'm willing to try new spices. But for me to like go into my cupboard and pull something, no. So like there's like a nuance to that. So I love that. So, and that leads to my word a little bit because my third word is trust. And when I was thinking about Voyage, I was thinking about, trusting the process, trusting the journey, trusting the people I'm with,
the
you know,
universe.
trusting the universe, trusting this life that we were blessed with. And it really is profound. Like trust, I think, is overused, but when I start speaking like that, I get really inspired by, gosh, what would it be like to live from that level of trust? What would that look like? And what would that provide other people in my life so they could trust? Not only as we're linking arms, but what is it like if they trusted? What could it provide them? So that's my third word.
I love it. And you're not a distrustful person.
No.
You are trusting in our business. You trust and empower others, and you trust science. Yeah, generally trust the government. Generally, so it's not like trust is something missing. It's that you're going to like magnify it somehow.
Yes.
So, or I don't know, let go even more or something. I love that. I really, really, really love that. So, those are our three words. And we would love to know yours. We would absolutely love to know your one word, if that's what your practice is, or your three words, or if you are instead a resolution person. We'd be happy to hear those as well. Communicate with us in social media or find us at convergencecoaching.com. Tamara and I are super interested to hear what sort of journey you're on, or voyage, to take Tamara's word. And we'll be sharing about ours in blogs and perhaps updating them in the future. I think, Tamara, at some point we should talk about vision boarding also. Brian and I did a vision board, and I can't remember. I think it's 3 years ago. It could be 4 now. And we were just looking at it the other day. It sits in his office downstairs, and how many things we've accomplished and how many still things that we need to get on, that maybe without looking at it regularly, you could lose sight of.
Right.
But that was a super fun exercise. So maybe that's a future personal development thing. And that's what we did today. We did personal development, sharing what we do to kind of enhance our lives professionally and personally, in the hopes it would help you. And in addition to talking about HR trends, we're going to try to do more sort of PD, personal development, with you as well now and then, if we can remember. So any ideas you have for that, let us know.
Yeah, we would welcome them. We would love to do that. So, and we do look forward to hearing from you. So have a great week. And a note about next week, we are going to be on hiatus. Jen is going to be in the air, and I am going to be in a car. So we didn't think that would be conducive for an HR huddle. So we will see you in a couple weeks. We'll see you the 1st of February. So have a good couple weeks, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Thanks all.